What's good, Team J3? Your boy is back in the building. I have a special guest hanging with your boy today. Go ahead and introduce yourself, homie.
What's up, Team J3? You might know me as the bearded one.
The bearded one has arrived.
Using my catchphrase.
Alright, so the bearded one is a big Star Wars fan. He loves Star Wars. This guy watches Harry Potter. This guy's in Lord of the Rings. He loves all these books, theatrical films. This is his thing, correct?
Correct.
Alright, this guy dabbles in horror. He's a slash actor, correct?
Correct.
So I'm expecting you to know your shit, correct?
Hopefully.
That's
correct.
what's up. Alright, so today we're going to get on Star Wars The Last Jedi. So can this movie, Star Wars The Last Jedi, be a new hope for Star Wars fans?
I believe it can be. Now that we got whatever Abrams out the way,
Yeah.
we got a new director.
He's coming back though. Part 9.
Yeah. We don't talk about that. But yeah.
See, everybody, J.J. Abrams, weak. Go ahead.
I feel like with this director, I have a little bit more faith tonally and story-wise with him because I'm one of the few people that actually like Looper. Did you like Looper?
Looper is the one with Hayden Christensen, right?
No, Looper is the one with...
No. Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
I hated the end.
Yeah, the end was kind of
10 minutes of jelly. He kills himself. Bullshit. I would have shot that kid off that. He would have been dead. You know it.
Now hopefully that doesn't bleed over into Last Jedi.
Freaking weak. Oh my god. All right, go ahead,
man. But from what I've heard and basically from what I've seen, I'm more than excited. Now, am I going to just throw all my chips in and cash out with Star Wars The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
I'm not, because I've been misled before with The Force Awakens. Now, going into The Force Awakens, just so you know, I did love it at first, but after seeing it more than one time, 7 to be accurate, you know.
You have to go in.
Judge me not, you know. I had to pay attention. There was a bad taste left in my mouth with that movie, just because of the direction that they went and where they could have gone.
What was the bad taste of episode 7? Where did that? Because I know where my taste was at. You know, Kylo Ren, Finn being a slave, not explaining Rey's abilities, and more of them freaking weak-ass robots. Bad taste.
Now, so to touch on that, Rey learning her powers within like half a second, and not even, you know. Now I understand they're trying to build her as, you know, very powerful or what have you, but to have no training whatsoever, or just even being shown how to do anything, that was kind of off to me. But I kind of understand at the point, you know, she's supposed to be, you know, this persona as very powerful and you know, yes, she's been living on Jakku all her life, right? So as far as
what she remembers,
right? As far as what she remembers, I'll give her that. Kylo Ren, with him, it's a love and hate thing. I loved his opening.
I think everybody loves Kylo Ren's opening when he freaking took that freaking taser blaster and held that shit.
That had me right here, and I was like, okay, we got a villain.
Yeah.
As soon as he took that mask off, his power, as you say, his intimidation went out the window.
Like Kane.
Kane, when he took his mask off, which is the worst thing that ever happened besides other stuff in the WWF, I believe. Yeah. But anyway, with Kylo,
Kane took that mask off.
He turned around with that stupid half mullet that he had. It was just, anyways. But
Dr. Jekyll, man.
Right, with Kylo Ren, as soon as he took that mask off, we realized it was just a kid under the mask.
Yeah.
An angry kid that had a lot of issues. And I've told you this countless times. The way or the time he should have took his mask off was at the end of the movie during a particular scene. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's your fault.
No, it's
right.
It's in 2 years.
When he killed Han Solo, and Han Solo shouted Ben, and he had that whole interplay with take off the mask, you don't need it.
Yeah.
That's when he finally should have took off his mask. Not during that interrogation scene where he just stands up like he's Mr. Suave and just that creep face that he had.
No, right? I totally agree with that. That was another distasteful, but I understood. Harrison Ford wanted to kill his character, so I knew he was going to die. Yeah, but distasteful because even how I felt that how Han Solo should have died should have been in his Millennium Falcon. He should have died in the Millennium Falcon. He should have shot down that motherfucking plane. I thought would have been more satisfying because he goes down with Chewie, goes down with the ship, done. That chapter's ended. You ain't gonna see it no more.
Oh man, you can't take Chewie out, bro. You can't do it.
Chewie, I like Chewie, but he's a cold-blooded motherfreaker because he's been there since day one and no one knows anything but him.
Right.
The drones were erased. He ain't.
He's seen everything. He's already just been around since before the beginning with Yoda and the prequels, right?
You think Chewie's autistic? Because autistic? Ain't no reason for him to be sitting there. Like I hate that. I would. We're gonna get on this. We're gonna watch the trailer in, but this is good shit. I want to. Chewie needs to get more play because for someone to have been there since even before Anakin's been born, and him to be so old and not tell anybody, like, first and foremost, Han Solo should have known everything about the Jedi just because his main man has been sitting on that Millennium Falcon all the time with all those secrets and has not said anything. That's one thing I think they have to explain in episode 8. They have to explain that Luke, somebody got to say, we wiped his memory. It needs some closure because he's been there since day one and he's not said or communicated. He even wrote down he did shit. He's just there. He's like retarded. He's just there all day, just hanging out. But he knows all the secrets. He might be the reason. He might know the secrets to put peace between two. But he ain't saying shit.
I don't know if they give Chewie that much.
He needs something
for him. He needs something though, because he's been quiet too long and
you're talking about 30, 40 years now?
More than that.
Yeah, because Star Wars
came. The prequels, that's an extra
20.
So we go for the trilogy, right? Which it was 30 years had passed, or not 30 years.
20. It was 20.
20 something years.
Like 17 years because Luke was 16.
Luke was like 17, 18.
Yeah. So 17, 18 from episode 3.
Right.
Hayden Christensen character, Darth Vader, Anakin was like 26.
22, 23, 20,
and they met him at 10.
Right.
And Chewbacca was there the whole time for that shit. So we're thinking Chewbacca's he's about 300 years old.
About that, yeah.
He's old as fuck.
He's 1,000. Might as well just round it off.
He's been there too long, and they're not speaking on anything.
I just feel like they just need to give him more love, man.
Unless Chewie's a hamster in real life. The teacher do, they replace your hamster when school's out because the motherfucking crow died and it's like giving you Chewie. Freaking bullshit. But with that being said, let's look at this trailer.
Yeah.
Last Jedi trailer, and then we're gonna get on this thing. I like the trailer though. I thought it had some spunk.
Yeah. I'll leave my thoughts on it.
Hold on, let me Alright, let me turn the speaker on.
When I found you,
I really love that voice, man. Dude, Andy Serkis is that
Andy Serkis is so underrated. Straight out of Revenge of the Sith.
Something truly special.
Ooh.
Something inside me has always been there. Then I was awake. And I need help.
It's a dream, bro. Can't swing that saber. It's trash, bro.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then. It does now.
At least he's talking in this one.
That's probably the only words he got in this movie.
goes with that tantrum.
Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to
Don't
become
do
what
it.
you're meant to be.
See, and then nonsense to me, man.
Light the fire, it'll burn the first.
No one talk about Polo, man.
Oh, Spin getting his manhood back.
This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill your destiny.
Wow, that scene right there, buddy.
Great CG, right? She's
I need
amazing.
someone to show me my place in all this.
December 15th. I'll be at
December
the theater.
15th. I already
December
got my
14th.
tickets too, so.
All right. So we just saw this epic Star Wars trailer. I have to say, it is a dope trailer.
It is.
Doesn't feel like Star Wars to me though. It feels like Lord of the Rings. I ain't gonna lie.
Lord of the Rings. Why? Because they're climbing all those mountains and just.
It just feels Lord of the Rings, bro. Andy Serkis ain't helping it.
It doesn't help that Golem is in there, right?
It feels it has a Lord of the Rings vibe, which could be a good thing. There's a lot about this trailer that I think we really should pay attention to. We have three elements in this trailer. We have Kylo Ren, we have Rey, we have Finn. These are three people, three characters that they are really pushing. You see Rey in between. She's kind of questioning herself in a sense, I feel, in this trailer. Kylo Ren, we already know, is questioning himself. And Finn is questioning himself too, in the situation that we see them in. This fool's over there with the damn what is it, the what's it called, First Order. He's chilling with them now. She has this dark element around her. You see her when she turns to saber, she's light, but then later on in the trailer you see she gets dark. But then you see Kylo Ren look like he's getting a little bit, F this bad sheep, I'm tired, I want to go back to good.
Right.
So, what do you think?
I mean, as far as from what I've seen, first off, let's go with just the tone of the movie.
Gotcha.
Right. Now, you touch base on it. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars film per se, and that might be a good thing or a bad thing. To me, I think it's fresh. I like the way it looks, just tonally and just the way it's shot. Going back to this, as far as with Kylo, I think he might not wear his mask this whole movie. I think he might just keep it off and just wear that little scar he has, as basically that's his new face that he put over. As far as his where he's at internally with his struggle between the light and the dark, he is really struggling right now. I mean, you can see he's struggling. He doesn't even know what to do. He looks like he just, at any moment, he can be this way or that way, just because he has that internal struggle with the light and the dark. Now, Rey is a mystery to me right now. I feel like they're kind of trying to throw us off with Rey and make it seem like she might be thinking about going over to the dark side. That might be the case, it might not be. But I feel like with her, it's just her trying to find her foot and trying to find her footing, and trying to find her place, as she says at the end of this trailer, right? She wants to find her place because she's never, the way I've seen her, she's never actually had her own identity. She doesn't know what she or who she is, because all she knows is that from a certain age she's lived in this place, and now she has seen that hasn't always been the case.
Gotcha.
In Force Awakens, when she touched the lightsaber and she had that flashback, right?
Yeah.
Or that vision. Now she knows she hasn't always lived on Jakku. She's been brought there. She's been dropped off. So now she's struggling with the fact that she's trying to find her place. How does she fit into this puzzle? Where does she belong? And then we mentioned also
Finn.
Finn, I think that's a misdirection on that count as far as him walking with the First Order. From what I've seen as far as photos, it might be like undercover type thing. Basically he's trying to infiltrate the base. Mm-hmm. But that'd be kind of weird because you also have Captain Phasma in the same scene going at it with him. So I don't understand how maybe he ended up there and her not noticing that he's there, or maybe that's probably at the end where she notices him. I'm interested to see that fight.
I think everybody's kind of interested in seeing, like, I have a theory with. I'll give multiple theories on how I think they're all gonna play out.
Okay.
But as far as it's beyond a theory, this is movie making. This is money.
Okay.
I think Finn is gonna have a bigger role in this new upcoming one than the rest of the actors, because he is becoming a bigger actor movie-wise than the rest of everybody else. Kylo Ren is I forget his name, but he does a lot of indie films. That's his thing. That's his comfort zone. And Rey, I think she had one movie after Star Wars.
Rey literally had, I believe, one part or two and went to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're going with it. Like, they're trying to give him more screen time because, he's starting, with his other roles, like with Pacific Rim,
exactly.
Imperial Dreams on Netflix. Even though that wasn't a major release, that was still a good movie.
Yeah. He did Detroit. And the only scene they show is where it's a fight.
Right.
It's with him. And we're talking about Jedi's and Sith Lords going on, and we're only going to get a fight with him. Do you think he's Force sensitive?
If he was, I think we would have known by now, to be honest with you. Like,
I think he is.
That's what I had hoped in A Force Awakens when going back to misdirection, right? When in the beginning of the movie he, hears stuff and he starts, freaking out. I don't know if that was, just him freaking out at the situation he was in, or he was tuning into somebody, or somebody was telling him something. But then, we go the whole rest of the movie and there was no Force sensitivity shown at that point.
Well, going back to Kylo Ren's epic introduction, when he came out, he noticed a stormtrooper.
Exactly.
Which was him.
Right.
So maybe he felt the Force.
That's what I had hoped he would have felt, and might have been the case. Or maybe he felt his confliction. Yeah. As far as him being conflicted that, he didn't shoot. He didn't shoot at anybody. Maybe Kylo Ren, obviously feeling things. Yeah. Getting into people's heads. He felt Finn at that point conflicted, but not enough to warrant him doing anything about it.
Gotcha.
Kylo Ren doing anything about it. Or, which I hope is the case, or I would at least like to see, is that he's actually Force sensitive. And you have not one, but two Force sensitive people.
See, it can get deeper.
It can.
Now, with this being said, this Star Wars franchise, Episode 8, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not holding my breath. It doesn't feel like Star Wars to me, but there is elements that could really make it really pop for me. And it's really saber fight. If I get a good Dark Maul type fight scene, I'll be like, okay, maybe they're trying to hold on to some gravitation and pull towards me. They're trying to grab me. If they give me something like that, then it'd be epic. But as far as moving forward with the franchise, I honestly think that we're all gonna watch it. We all gonna care about it. Like, we're gonna be like, Star Wars, It's gonna be a lot for them to make me like, damn, I love Star Wars. This is the greatest thing. Like, I noticed on my wall, I'm like, you know what? I don't even have my fucking saber up there. I don't have anything Star Wars up there.
You gotta show some love.
I gotta show some love on there, man. I gotta get a saber. I went to Comic-Con to get one because they had these ones where they can make them, and they didn't. The company wasn't there or something, so I couldn't get it made. Mm-hmm. Shout out to my boy Steven for getting his made 2 years ago at WonderCon. But moving forward with the Star Wars, I see people enjoying this movie, but I also see everyone thinking, I think it's gonna be that way. I think honestly, there is no hope for this movie, for Star Wars, basing off this film anymore. Like, Star Wars has lost its way. Like, I think everybody has a reasons why they like Star Wars. We all know, like, some people say you're wrong for liking this part of Star Wars and that makes you, that's not true. It's no one is telling anyone that they're dumb for liking a certain part about Star Wars. I like Sith Lords, I like Jedis, I like saber battles. I don't care about who shot first. I care about who stepped on whose shoes first. Where does beef come at between the Siths and the Jedis? Where does she happen? Was it a girl involved? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Me and you have discussed this before, and I know you're a real big fan of the Old Republic, and you wanted to see, you know, basically going ham in Old Republic style with basically how did it all come about? Like, where did it start? You know, and hopefully they touch base in this movie, you know, or at least try to touch base on that part. You know, we keep going back to this image of books, right?
Yeah. True.
We don't know what's in those books. Is it information on how are we going to lead into the Greys? You know, like the Grey Jedi. You know, I don't know. You familiar with that?
A little bit. Touch on a little bit.
I guess I'm not a big expert on it either, but you know, it's from the canon of the books or the books. Basically, the Grey Jedi, or the Greys, as you call them, are basically masters of the light and the dark. There is no light or dark side with them. There is basically the Force, and I believe it's called. Again, don't tear me up in the comments if you guys see this and I
They have no business
misinform it. The Book of Wills, I believe it's called, and that basically explains the history or how to go about that part.
Gotcha.
And you know, we see the book going back to the book, and basically, you know, that image of, you know, the book's on that little altar, and you know, her or whoever's hand that was over a certain image, and one can only see, and which is funny because if you notice the clothing in the trailer, in the previous trailer, Rey is wearing all gray. Now that might just be because
she's poor.
Yeah, there's no tailors in Star Wars, you know, on the island.
Potato sack.
Yeah, even Luke is wearing gray.
Yeah,
Luke is back from the Force Awakens, right? He was wearing that Obi-Wan style robe. Yeah. Back to even the original trilogy, those colors, but when you see them in this, it's like the tone of their color is just washed out. There's no indication that they might be light or dark, because obviously in Star Wars we've seen, you can tell specifically by the person what they're wearing is who's good, who's bad, right? Yeah. In the original trilogy, 1 and 2, or 4 and 5, I'm sorry, 4 and 5, Luke was wearing light colors. But then we went into Return of the Jedi, which is actually one of my favorite ones. Return of the Jedi, he was wearing black, so we automatically assumed he was bad, and especially when he did that Force choke, right? Which wasn't the case. So
he just wanted to wear black. Black's a cool color, man.
It is. It's aggressive, you know, scary.
That was tight. I actually was introduced to Star Wars through Return of the Jedi. That's what got me.
You started from the.
I started at the end.
Okay.
And when I remember watching it, I rented the video out at the local Blockbuster, and I was about 6 years old, and it was New Hope, it was Empire Strikes Back, and it was Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
And I chose Return of the Jedi, and that's why I'm pretty sure that's why I'm into that. I like Sidious. I like the final battles. That's what I'm into. And if it's not satisfying, I'm pissed off. You know what I mean? And going, it's funny that you say the gray, right? I remember, if you guys go, I don't know if I have it up because my channel changed, but I did a review and I did a discussion about something like that, but not knowing this information. But I always felt that episode 7 should have ended when Rey lands on the little island, and she walks down into a temple. And I always thought it'd be really dope if you seen Obi-Wan, if you hear a bunch of talking going on, chattering, kind of like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, where you open the books and someone gives you a
Tom Riddle's diary and all that.
Exactly. And you see old Jedis walking by, passing knowledge to each other, and then you see a glimpse of Qui-Gon Jinn reading a book. Like, fuck! You know how much the audience would have blew up. You see Obi-Wan talking to Yoda. You just, you know, it's like, and you see old Jedis alike you see them, and then you can kind of put you would have been able to put a lot of what we call it closure to certain Jedis that we believe could be alive or dead. Shout out to Mace Windu. That'd have been tight. If you saw Mace Windu down there, you'd be like, oh, he died. But if you didn't, well, this motherfucker must be alive.
Which has been the case for a topic of discussion for so long now. It's because we didn't see him actually die. We saw him being electrocuted and force pushed out of a window, or kicked out of a window. I'm sorry. Yeah. We don't know if he's alive or not, and obviously the argument is, well, if he hasn't shown up now, he probably won't show up at any time.
But that might not be the case. Just to throw it in, I would love to see something like that. That would have gave me more hope for this new one, because I'm like, okay, they're dealing with Jedis now. They're planning something, and something's gonna be big. So that means Luke will be more powerful, because of all the knowledge of all those old Jedis, and giving him the knowledge of the Force that nobody can ever contain. I would feel like that would have been dope. This one makes me feel like
I just feel like I need to see Luke tear somebody up or do something other than just run or swing his saber with Vader.
Don't go there.
I need him to be right. Don't I need
One.
Oh God, Rogue One. At the time when I saw Rogue One, this was me, because I was like, you got Vader's on. But then after watching that movie again, first of all, don't get me started. But
go ahead, because Vader has no business. People have forgotten what Vader is. Who Vader is. He's been written to be feared, and Vader does not pull sabers first, especially against something that's not worth pulling a saber for. He doesn't waste energy on bullshit. That whole relay race with the plans was bullshit to me. Bullshit, because he would have just ripped their freaking rib cavity out their body and brought it to him, or just freeze the whole position, walked up, took the plans, and then said, get rid of him.
And this has always been my gripe with Darth Vader. Obviously, he's a classic. You're never going to be able to knock Vader completely.
Yeah.
But the way he's been portrayed recently is not indicative of who he is and what he's capable of.
Yeah.
That whole hallway of those Rebel Alliance, he could have stopped all of them. Because he's been, or at least a part of what they've shown, and at least in the prequels, is he's very powerful. Now there are those people that argue that once he lost his limbs, he lost a piece of the Force that he was connected to. Which I guess if you go off that whole thing with the midichlorians, his count, that's what makes him so powerful. I guess that one can argue that makes sense. But even after that, and like you're saying, in other, like canon, the books, other areas, other outlets besides the original trilogy, he's been known to be more powerful than that. And to me, I feel like that scene was just fan service, just to put him in there. Now, there's been talk of solo movies with Vader, and I just feel like if they're not going to do him correctly, I know we're getting off topic with Last Jedi, but if they're not going to do him correctly, it's Star Wars. We love Star Wars.
Yeah, it's going everywhere.
If they're not going to do him correctly, then don't do him at all. Show him how he's supposed to be. Have him tear people up, and which has been my gripe with Luke. Again, going back to Luke, he's never been accurately portrayed as the person that he's been, supposed to be. The Jedi he's supposed to be, right?
He's always been. It's like I always say, Princess Leia is more aggressive, more of a Jedi than Luke ever would have been. Or is, because she was really up for it about everything. She led more. She was a leader. Mm-hmm. She was more dominant. She actually took the dominant side of the parents, honestly. And she represented a lot about her mother. Hayden Christensen, Luke is just like freaking Anakin, a crybaby, whiny, weenie, sits in the corner. He has power, but doesn't want to show it. He's whack. But Leia shows everything her mother was, and it's sad because at the time frame of Star Wars was about you know, women didn't get a lot of rights. So having a lead female like that, that's just Wrecker twin brother, they weren't gonna do that. So I understand where it's at. Then and I think that's why people need to get off with Rey a little bit, because they're kind of giving Rey Leia shine in a sense. I feel that. I feel they're giving Rey what Leia could have been, but because of the time frame, it was like no. And I also believe that it's funny because Luke, if he's not powerful in this movie, and they do him dirty like they did my boy Forrest Whitaker, where you have this epic character that had all how did he get through that battle? What did he do to get there? He was a rebel against the rebels, but they showed us nothing but him falling to a freaking planet blast. Bullshit. This is why I don't have no hope in this, because they have 2 movies already which are 0-2 with me because of these elements. They're not showing us what we need to see. Vader shot when he pinched him. I said, what is Vader doing? Vader don't do that. He's so powerful, he doesn't even know how to put a hand up. He would just choke up. First and foremost, he's a robotic arm, so he ain't got fingers. He doesn't do that. He's gonna use the mind. I think he became more stronger when he lost his limbs, because those that don't have certain abilities learn to use other parts of their body, which makes them stronger. And if you use your mind with the Force, you're more epic. That means you don't need hand gesture. Vader just walk in and wreck you.
That whole scene was just.
Oh, you underestimate. What the?
No, you don't choke on your aspirations.
Oh,
and then he's
God.
looking up like, oh yeah, like choke me harder. Like this whole BS scene. I mean, like at first, the first time you're watching it, you're just so blinded by like, okay, I'm watching a prequel or an in-between movie that it's Star Wars. But then once you watch it again, and you start to notice the flaws in it, and why is this there, and why is that doing there. And now, like I said, with this one, it looks visually stunning. Like from what I've seen, the way it's shot, it looks unique. Snoke looks sounds terrible. Sounds terrifying.
Yeah, Snoke is the number one thing I want to see in this movie. Can't wait to see him.
Do you know he's going to be a mixture of CGI and practical effects?
That's good.
So it's an actual, from what I've heard, it's a mixture of CGI, but like a 7-foot puppet.
Nice.
/ person. So that's going to be interesting to see.
It's going to be a great visual film.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not going to hold my breath on it. Now I'm excited. This trailer got me excited. It sparked a flame in me to want to give it a chance. And ultimately, I will not have my full take on it until I've actually seen it more than once. Yeah, so not of course. The first time you're seeing something new, right? Obviously, after I've seen it a couple times, then I can, render my verdict on it. But from now, it looks like they might be going in a better direction than Force Awakens did.
Okay. Well, that's being said, guys, your boy J3 got to make a run. Okay. Shout outs to the Bearded One for coming through. Thank you, brother. I need to get that OLED soon, the True Blacks.
You know what to come to.
Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the Star Wars talk, man. You guys heard it here from the Bearded One. Big Star Wars fan. J3, big Star Wars fan. This is how we feel. Put your comments down below. What do you guys think about it? Do you think this is going to be the new hope for Star Wars? Or is it just going to be another Star Wars movie that we're just going to take until they figure out that they need to go to the Old Republic? Shout out to the Patreons for donating. You guys are the greatest. You'll keep this boat floating. Shout out to Team J3 for staying loyal to the soil. We are 10,000 subscribers. The sky's the limit. We still pushing this movement. Thumbs this video up and make sure you push that subscribe button for the real and the real deal. That's for real. J3 out.